Hello, everyone. I hope you're all having a fantastic week. Welcome to another episode of Tell Me About Your Dog, the show with one simple purpose: to hear all about your dogs and share their stories about what makes them so special. Hi, I'm Sam. I'm a CVT here in the sunny state of Florida. I'm a pet insurance advocate and a lover of all things senior pets. We are joined by a very special guest today. She's like family to me because she is family to me. Please welcome Emily. Thank you for coming on Tell Me About Your Dog. How are you today?
Doing good. Thank you for having me.
Are you a little nervous?
Yes, I've never been on a podcast before, but I can't not talk about my dog. So
I was going to say, I am shocked that you wanted to come on, but I know it's for a good reason because you really love your dog. So tell me about your dog.
So I just recently, I don't know if acquired is the right word, but I just got married in August, and my now husband had a dog, and her name is Blanche, and she is now my dog as well. And I am obsessed. It's bad. So I have wanted a dog since I moved out when I was 23, I think it was. And I haven't been able to because I was renting and they wouldn't allow pets. So, and my old roommate just did not like dogs. So
offensive, I know. So,
yes. So I would just steal everybody else's dog and pretend like it was my dog. And I was just like, I'm going to get a dog one day. And then Spencer and I started dating, and I was like, well, this is great. I can just steal Blanche all the time.
This man just comes with a dog.
I know. It was great. And she was already trained. So like, I didn't have to deal with all of that and like her eating things and like being in the house and stuff.
It's all behind her at that point.
Yep. We jumped straight to like good girl stage.
Aww. So tell us a little about Spencer. When did he get Blanche?
I think it was 2019. So Blanche, it's kind of a funny story. So he was married before, and his ex-wife got Blanche. And then when they got divorced, not too long after that, she left Blanche with him. But Blanche is like, they're like BFFs since that. They went through so much together, and they were like each other's only friend for a little bit. So like they're so close, and it's so sweet. Like he goes to work with her, and like it's so sweet. Although she's adjusting now to having me because now she's like, we're good without you. What are you doing here? Why are you in the bed? She kept trying to kick me out of the bed at first. Like she would like in the middle of the night be like,
she's like, Dad, we were just fine. It was just the two of us. Now you brought this lady around.
The first week after we got married, she actually pushed me off the bed. I fell out of the bed. So yeah.
She was just testing her limits to see what she could get away with.
She was. She's a little sassy. So.
But that's what makes her Blanche. So speaking of Blanche, where did her name come from? Because I think we all know the Golden Girls.
Yes, she's named after the Golden Girls.
Oh, which is so funny because her personality is very Blanche from the Golden Girls sometimes.
Yes.
Like you said before, you got married to Spencer, so you kind of married into their family.
Yep.
How was that transition like? Other than being married, I'm talking about when you guys first started dating, you first met Blanche. Was she very quick to like you, or did it take some time for her to get used to you being around?
She liked me from the start, and she doesn't normally, she's a very, like, she can be a little bit of a scared dog at times. Like, she's hesitant around new people, and she liked me, like, instantly. So that was nice. So the first time I watched her, Spencer's from Georgia. So the first time he went up to Georgia and he flew, so he couldn't take her. And I watched her in my little condo, and I had a twin bed, and she was determined to sleep in the twin bed with me. And I look back, she jumped on and off the bed so many times that night that she threw up. And it was like, I woke up, it was like 3 a.m. to her just like slow motion vomiting down the wall. And I was like, what am I getting myself into at first?
We are not off to a good start here. That is vomit on the bed at 3 a.m.
Yes, that only happened once. I think she was just nervous because she had never been away from Spencer before. Mm-hmm. But now we're good. Now she just grunts at me, which is her way of communicating. So
she just gives you her sass.
Yes.
That's great.
She has very high levels of sass.
Aw. So you guys got married last August. Congratulations on your almost 1 year mark.
Thank you.
It has not been an easy first year of marriage for you, though.
Nope.
Let's trail back a little bit to some of the life events you guys have been through in your first year of marriage.
Oh, my goodness. Well,
Where do we begin?
We got married, and as we were moving, so he was in an apartment and I'm in a condo. So he moved out of his apartment into my condo. And as we were moving him out, we had the deadline because Hurricane Helene was hitting.
Mhm.
So we got him in, moved in, and thankfully timing was great because um the whole area he was in flooded from Hurricane Helene. So we're like, okay, we got this done. We're gonna go on our honeymoon. And we're
Smooth
on a
sailing.
kind of. So we were like on this ship thinking, oh, everything's behind us. But it was also like a weird feeling of where like we just got hit with a storm and people we know just lost everything. And here we are on this boat, like vacation.
Living it up.
Yeah. And we're hear people talking about a hurricane and we're just like thinking it was about Helene. So we get back and we check our phones and we're like, there's another hurricane. And it was Category 5 hurricane headed straight towards our area.
Coming right
And
for
we're
us.
like, oh no. So thankfully we had enough time to get home, grab Blanche. Blanche went on a 22-hour long car ride. She was a very good girl. And although we stopped at one point because we drove or no, maybe it was longer than 22. I think 22 hours was how long it took until we could
Because you were just stuck in traffic
stop.
the
Yeah.
whole time.
It was a really long drive.
It was just going up to Georgia, but with hurricane evacuations, that's triple the time it takes.
Yeah, we couldn't even pull off the road until we were like a good way into Georgia. And so we pulled over and slept at a rest stop and Blanche is just like hovering over us like, what are you guys doing? It's time to play. And we're like, oh my goodness. But she was a good girl. Made it through that and then got in a car accident in February. Spencer just had a emergency hip replacement and I'm getting ankle surgery on Monday. So
And Spencer is in his 30s. Let's not
yes.
age him to be an old man that you married. He's in his 30s. And yes, he had a hip replacement. He's doing great. You have your ankle surgery coming up. So we wish you all the best for that.
Thank you.
The common denominator through this whole time is Blanche has been there with you guys. How has having Blanche around during all the stressful times made them easier?
Oh my goodness, she's brought some comedic relief to us. So one of the times, and you actually kind of saved her during this, we were in the ER with Spencer from his hip, and my dad went to go and let her out, and she got scared of something and just took off. But she ran so hard, her little feet, she ripped the little pads off her feet, and her little feet were bleeding. So she was in little bandages, and she couldn't walk. But we got her this little donut, like, to keep her from like eating at her feet. And she was like after about 3 days, she's like, I'm never running away again. I'm so happy. But she was just like, she had little shoes on and she was like flicking her feet while she was trying to walk. But we were laughing at one point because I was like, Blanche can't walk, Spencer can't walk, and now I can't walk too because that was right after the accident. So
the Gorley household was not mobile that week.
no, we're not. But Blanche is she's helped Spencer out a lot at work too. One of the days he fell at work and he passed out from like the pain with his hip and all that. And Blanche escaped. Spencer thinks that she was just like, it's my moment to be free. But I'm like, oh, she actually like did her job as an emotional support pet.
Aw.
But she like went out and she got one of his coworkers and they found him on the floor. Like if it wasn't for Blanche, I'm like thankful that I don't know how long he would have been sitting there. But
yeah, you're right. Who knows how long it would have been until someone found him or went looking.
Yeah.
Aw.
So
we love Blanche. She's just the best girl.
she is. She's provided a lot of cuddles and a lot of support.
Mhm.
When Spencer was in the hospital for his surgery, it was Blanche and I were just sitting there like, where's Dad?
Aw.
But yeah.
But she's taken into you are part of the family now and
yes.
life is complete now that you are together and it's three of you.
Yes.
Oh, I love that. Well, Emily, you are a very, very, very smart individual. You work with numbers that I don't even attempt to look at. I want to play a little game of truth or myth because we hear a lot of old wives' tales about dogs and in the animal world. So I am going to read you a statement and I want you to tell me if you think it's true or if it's a myth. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
All right, let's do this. All right, a wet nose means a healthy dog and a dry nose means a sick dog.
True.
That is actually a myth. So the moisture level of a dog's nose can change based on a few things. Like during the day, it can change if it's environmental, their activity level, but it actually doesn't really have anything to do with them being sick.
Okay, you scared me for a second because I was like, Blanche's nose is wet. Is she okay?
It's pretty much always normal to just have a wet dog nose.
Okay.
unless it's, dischargy, color, mucus, nastiness coming out of it. But that statement is a myth. All right, next one. Each dog has their own unique fingerprint.
Meh?
No, that's actually true.
Really?
Yeah, so dogs not only have unique paw prints, but their nose print is also unique too. So
Oh,
every dog has a different nose print. All right, next one. You can teach an old dog new tricks.
I don't know. I think that's a myth from Woody. My childhood dog was like 19 and he was stubborn.
So the statement itself is actually a myth. You can teach a dog at any age a new trick. Puppies do learn better because they're younger, their brains absorb it, just like kids learn things quicker. And senior dogs, because they have cognitive changes, sometimes don't learn a new trick as easily. But you can teach an adult or a senior dog even new tricks. It's not impossible, but it is an old wives' tale that you can't teach an old dog new tricks.
Huh.
All right, next one. A wagging tail always means a happy dog.
True?
That's a myth. So generally, yes, a wagging tail means the dog is happy, but it can also be a sign that they're stressed or anxious. So it's really important that you read a dog's body language and say, what else is going on around? Are their ears tucked? Is their head down? Do they seem nervous otherwise? But yeah, a wagging tail does not always mean a happy dog.
I could see that. Blanche does. She's terrified of when the lawn people come.
Does she do the little nervous slow wag?
Yes.
Yeah.
She does not like Fridays. Her least favorite day. Her little ears go back and she's like right in my face, like, save me from the monsters.
It's the dark day of Friday. All right, next one. Dogs can detect human emotions.
I think that's true.
Of course it's true. Yes, dogs do pick up on changes on our emotions based on our scent, our behavior changes, and just picking up on little cues. So they definitely can read us probably way better than we can read them. You can shave a double-coated dog like a husky or a shepherd during the hot months of the year.
I don't know.
Those dogs have like the thick coat, like a husky
Yeah.
or a German shepherd. Do you think it's a good thing that people shave?
I don't know. I always worry for huskies in Florida. I'm like, are they hot?
Mhm.
Like,
So that statement is actually a myth. It is not good to shave a double-coated dog because their double coat actually acts as an insulator. They stay cooler in the warm months and warmer in the cold months because they have that insulation around them.
does that mean the huskies in Florida aren't as hot?
They are not.
Oh, good.
They're still hot, but they have that insulated barrier around them so they don't, overheat as easily. It's never good to leave a dog outside in this temperature, of course, but they are not suffering any more than a normal dog is. So it actually can cause them sunburns if you shave them and their skin is exposed because they have very, very sensitive skin.
That would be sad.
It is. All right, next one. Dogs eat grass when they're sick.
True.
That's a myth. Very common one. Very common one. Yes. So grass is tasty. It has a lot of fiber. Dogs actually generally like the taste of it for the most part. It doesn't always mean that they're sick. Sometimes they will eat it when they're having stomach issues because it's something different than food. And if that smells good, they want to eat it. But it doesn't mean that they're sick. They may just like the taste of it. We see healthy dogs eating grass all the time.
Blanche loves to eat grass, but she has her stomach issues. That's for sure. She has the most allergies I've seen in a dog. Crazy.
All right, 2 more. Dogs are omnivores.
What does that mean?
Omnivore being an animal that, like humans, eats meat and plants versus a carnivore who just eats meat.
True.
Yes, that is true. Dogs are omnivores. They eat both meat and plants just like humans do, and cats are carnivores.
Plants like grass.
Plants like grass, exactly. All right, the last one. 1 year equals 7 dog years.
True.
That one is probably the biggest myth in the veterinary world. So 1 year doesn't equal 7 years, mainly because dogs are considered adults at 1 to 2 years old. So that already knocks that ratio of, they would be 7 years old off the table because they're a full-grown adult at that point. And also, small dogs age much slower than bigger dogs do. So the ratio actually goes very quickly to adulthood at that 1 to 2 area. And then they stay an adult for a very long time. So they almost stay in their 20s and 30s for a very long time. And then they age into their 40s, 50s, 60s equivalent, human years. But no, it is not a 1 to 7 year ratio. I know there's a lot of myths out there, aren't there?
There are. I
Yeah.
thought they were all true.
Well, I'm glad we got to debunk some of those myths that we hear about in the vet world every day. And Emily, I want to thank you for coming on and sharing Blanche's story. She sounds like she's been an awesome new addition for you. Congrats on getting married. You not only obtained a husband, but you got a dog.
Best of both worlds.
You did. You got the best of both worlds. Well, that is it for this episode of Tell Me About Your Dog. Please be sure to follow the show on Spotify and YouTube, and follow Tell Me About Your Dog podcast on Instagram, where I would love to hear your stories and your topics that you'd like to hear more about.